Hello, everyone, and welcome to Strategies for Resilience. I'm Rosanna Cornell, executive coach, mother of three. I'm also a writer and I think I'm a kind of a good cook.
Yeah, you are.
Am I
Very,
good?
very good cook.
Yeah. And I am, I'm here to share with you these tools that I've developed over time and I've structured into a very simple 3-step process to help us navigate this very unique world situation that it's really unprecedented. We have never faced such a drastic change in our lifestyle, and here we have the new generation, my daughter coming here, growing up in this, and to see this unfold at her age as well. And I think a lot of us are, struggling with how to cope with this from a emotional and mind-body perspective. And I kind of want to give you, I'm here to give you some insight to hopefully help you get through this. And so I want to introduce you to Cra Cra.
Hi,
How old are you?
I am 9 years old, almost 10. Hopefully not gonna turn 10 in this madness.
No, yeah, well, you have a little while, so I
Yeah.
think we'll be okay. I think we're gonna get through this by then. And also, you're in 3rd grade,
Yeah, they're great.
and they just canceled school for you, and they canceled your FSAs.
Pretty crazy, but also awesome.
Yeah, well, that part's kind of awesome for you, right? And now you're spending a lot of time at home.
Yeah, basically almost 2 hours of school.
2 hours of school, that's it? I think you're getting a little bit more than that.
Okay.
Well, we are integrating, and we've created a schedule, and we do other activities, bike rides and arts and crafts and learning things like chess. So actually screen time and assignment time is about 2 to 3 hours, but the full day is about 6 hours of really just mommy being really hands-on on your
Yeah.
education, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. So let's see. This is day 4 of this new environment that we're living in to keep us all safe.
Definitely, and cray.
And cray cray.
Very hard to keep up with.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot. So I think a lot of us are feeling some stress or anxiety. And if we're not feeling stress and anxiety about this, we probably will start to feel that way. I think that's going to be an evolution. I think there's going to be days that are easier than others and days that are harder than others. And in all of this, I just really want to, hopefully, everyone just to come out of this even better than you came into it. And that's really what I think we can try to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
So I've designed a quick module for all of you. I was fancy and did some slides on PowerPoint that I will edit into the video so you can see them. But it's really a simple 3-step process. It's you adapt to succeed. And I'm going to walk you through those 3 steps. But I'm going to start out with a little story.
A little story that's going to help you see things better about this.
Yeah, a little story that hopefully will add some color. It's about some mice in a laboratory. So
2 groups.
2 groups of mice. You have one group of mice that the scientist would have in this complex maze, and the mice every day would have to go and hunt for food. And so these mice were kind of used to, they'd check one place and they didn't find the cheese, so they'd walk around, look around, and then they'd go to another corner and they'd find the cheese there. And they were used to working hard to get their cheese, and they were used to uncertainty, and they had built that uncertainty into their life. And the other group,
The mice, they always found the cheese exactly where they found it the next day. And then one day, the scientists decided to take out the cheese and put it somewhere new. The mice were cray. They didn't know what to do, like we are now.
exactly. So
we lost our cheese.
We lost our cheese. Exactly.
But we don't want to be like those mice who are crazy. We want to be like the mice that know how to adapt.
Exactly. So the moral of the story here is that the mice that worked harder for the cheese, when uncertainty hits, it was a lot easier for them to kind of go on that path. So what I've experienced even in my own life, I mean, I'm definitely not trouble-free over here. I have my challenges, and I've had some pretty rough years and rough circumstances to have overcome on my own. And I've been able to do it. I feel like I've done it successfully. I mean, I feel really good about how I've been able to manage these things.
So far, you've been doing this pretty good. Not stressing out.
Oh yeah, this whole thing that you've seen. So look, now I'm getting some feedback on how Mommy's been handling.
Not stressing out as much as we should be living out in the real world.
Yeah. I mean, and it's because I've been able to apply these techniques, and I'm so glad that you noticed. I feel really good about that. So back to the 3 steps. You adapt to succeed. So getting into you is the first section, and this is about clarity, focus, and mental toughness. And how do we achieve those things when everything is like news is coming out and people are, dealing with incredibly troubling issues, and how do we kind of cope through all of this? So in this first step, we have to always remember you are the only thing that you can control. So this is where we see all of the stuff in the world happening, and this situation is the perfect example. It's the perfect storm to really show us that this is all entirely out of our control. We have no this isn't our realm. We didn't provoke this. I didn't do anything to make this happen. I might have had I didn't wash my hands a couple times after I, maybe touched a doorknob in the past, but I didn't cause a virus to spread throughout the world. None of us individually did. So we need to focus on the things that we can control. And the only thing that you can control in this environment is you. And you're holed up in your house with your families, with your loved ones, all day, every day, until this thing gets through. And so what you need to always remember and focus in on is you can control yourself, and how that is empowering in and of itself. That's a very empowering message and an area to have control of, because there is a very deep inner world in our own minds. There's a lot going on in there, and if you just stop to listen, it's almost like you're in those crowded restaurants and hearing everybody talk. If you stop to listen to your mind, there's thoughts running through your brain. How is this person going to be okay? If I go here, is it going to be dangerous? If I go there, it's going to be dangerous. And we have all of this bombardment of thoughts, and I think it's something around 70,000 thoughts in a day that a person can have, and not all of them are helpful, and not all of them are beneficial thoughts to us. So what we need to do is slow all that chatter down. It's not healthy. It's not healthy to your body. It's not healthy for your mind. It's not healthy for your reactivity. So in order to slow that mind down, you got to get still. And what I was telling another group when I did this talk was that getting still, I could do a whole module on that. And that might be like, if this thing is interesting to anybody and anyone wants to hear more, there could be an entire module on just focusing on you and the types of practices and techniques you can use to get still. There's breathing exercises, 3 deep breaths. You want to do those with me right now? We'll just take a moment. Everyone, take a moment to do 3 deep breaths right now. Just in through the nose and slowly out through the mouth. Again, in through the nose and slowly out through the mouth, and in through the nose and out through the mouth. And we do these exercises. I have 3 daughters, and this morning we did a breathing exercise. And what did I tell you to do every time you breathed in?
Breathing in everything good and push out everything bad.
Exactly. And there's scientific research that really can show that just through the breathing exercises, your mind can calm. You can calm all of the nerves and chatter going on and the stressors and anxiety inside of you. So take that moment every day, especially if you feel yourself spiraling, if you feel a rising reaction, which is kind of like that sensation when you're kind of like about to explode on somebody or about to lash out or about to get really upset and cry. When you feel that coming up for you, that's just such a great time to just sit and just go. And if you need to lock yourself in a bathroom, if you need to walk outside and walk around the block for a second and do that, it's really something that would be helpful.
Or maybe just Find a nice cozy place somewhere where there's no one around to just sit and think.
And think. And the point is yes, is to look at those thoughts. So when you're sitting and you're thinking, which is part of the get still, part of focusing on you, is take a look. Just notice what was just shot through my brain. What thought came this way? What thought came that way? What's popping in there?
Keep them in track. Make a line.
Yeah, exactly. Make a line and kind of like dismiss any troubling thoughts. Really work on that process. And there's a whole process for that. Like I said, there's a whole module I could do on really identifying those troubling thoughts. But in this first stage, in this first module, I want you to just kind of go in and hone in and know that's happening for you. So what I do want you to do is take a pen right now and write down an affirmation. This is a daily affirmation that can keep you thinking positive, looking forward, thinking optimistically. And there is scientific research that does prove that through positive thinking, optimism, you can improve your health, you can improve your physical situation, you can improve so much about yourself. So I really want you to take this and apply these positive affirmations into your life. I do them every day. I'll give you some right now. You can take them, you can have these or come up with your own. I have control over my inner world, my mind, and my reactions. I am calm, I am safe. I trust in my ability to face this challenge. Life is beautiful. I can find the beauty anywhere. Did you have a affirmation that you like the most out of those?
My favorite was, as life is beautiful, I can find beauty everywhere, because I can. In these dark times, I can understand my family better. I can learn how to do chess. I could do Monopoly for 3 hours if I would like.
Yeah.
So I can find beauty in this problem.
There we go. And I think we all can. So this is really important to repeat that affirmation, especially in those moments where a negative thought pushes in. I didn't get to go to the conference I wanted to go to. I had to cancel my vacation. I had to make these decisions and changes in my life. I'm not making the income I used to make. I mean, who isn't hit hard by that one? So all of these things are just taking over our mental spaces, and here's an opportunity for you to leap over them, to really overcome that weighing down, because what it does is it does drag you down at a time like this. So we're gonna move into adapt, and one of my favorite words ever spoken were the Buddha's last and final words were impermanence is inescapable, which is another way of saying that the only constant is change, which is something that we've heard over and over again in our lives. And we do know that things change, and we need to adapt and evolve, or we will die. And this is proven scientifically over and over again with any species, any plant, any animal that has evolved. We can see the proof in that. So what we are asked and charged to do at this point is really adapt our lifestyles, adapt everything that we were used to. Our cheese is gone. We got to find new cheese. So how do we adapt in this environment?
We're in a mess, and we have to figure out that the cheese is somewhere else in the maze. We just got to go look for it.
Exactly. So what I challenge you to do so that you can adapt most effectively and powerfully in this moment, I challenge you to set some goals for yourself. Really identify who is it that you want to be. How do you want to face this situation? How do you want to show up for this that's happening right now? What version of you do you want to have here? Do you want a strong version of you? Do you want a version of you that's fallen to pieces? Do you want a version of you that's nervous and scared and panicky? What version of you do you want? You get to choose that. Like I told you in step 1, you get to control you. So your choice gets to be made right now. I'm making this choice all day. I mean, all day. I've got 3 kids. I've got a house to keep up. I've got food to make. I've got to clean. Everything's changed. So I'm constantly going through positive affirmation. I'm getting to the point where, okay, no, I don't want to show up in this situation aggravated at my children and angry at this, angry at that, when I have so much, I have an infinite amount of time at this point. So everything will get done. I've got a family that loves me, that's beautiful, that's working with me, and I have to remember that, and I bring that back to center myself. So do that. Who do you want to be? I challenge you to set a goal for yourself. How do you want to come out of this? Is there something that you want to achieve that you can only achieve in this sort of unique bubble of a circumstance? Here you are, the world is shut down around you, you're trapped in your house with these people. What is it you want to achieve out of this? Do you have a goal? Something you really want to do?
I have a goal to be stronger so my sisters can listen finally. Like, I try to get them out of trouble. What do? Keep on playing around. I am trying to help them. So I want to become a stronger version of me so they can listen and let me help.
I love that. And I think we need to have a little longer conversation about that, because for you and for that situation, there's ways to navigate that. So we'll have a little longer discussion. In the meantime, for adapting, the goal, let's say my goal in this situation is that I really want to influence my children in the most positive way possible. I want to give them what I could never give them unless this situation had happened the way it is. Like, I have these universal truths that guide my life. These are the universal truths that I use to apply to every fragment of anything that touches me. And these universal truths are empowering, and they're powerful, and but they have to be, it's an education, and they have to be taught. So this is part of their learning. It's kind of something I'm building into their curriculum that I wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. So these are the kinds of things I'm doing that makes me very optimistic to continue this process and to be able to make this happen. Now, I do want you to, part of adapting, and for my friends out there that, I know who you are. We have these negative thoughts that go through our head, and these are negative thoughts that really they just kind of, they're not helpful. They're part of the limiting belief systems. They're part of the things that bring us down and don't allow us to get to the next step or to our next goal. And they kind of just live within us every single day of our lives.
Like the mice, they live with knowing exactly where the cheese is, but thanks to this, we don't know, we're lost.
Yeah. So what we need to do with these negative thoughts is to apply this method called ACT therapy. And it was developed by a psychologist, Stephen Hayes, which is, it's very compassionate, and it's a very powerful way to distance yourself from the things that are dragging you down. And we got to get better at noticing what those thoughts are, and that those thoughts do come up for us in our lives. And if the only way to really overcome them is to see them for what they are and work on them. So when people say, and this is kind of like a popular thing people my age say, they say, I'm done the work, or I'm doing the work, and I'm gonna do the work on, I'm gonna work on myself. I'm gonna do a lot of self-work. I'm gonna get better. And this is how you do it. I saw the Taylor Swift Netflix documentary, and I've seen some of these others, like when I saw Oprah and J-Lo, and you hear these people talk, and they're talking from a place of reflection and of empowerment of themselves, and they said they've done the work. Well, my friends, this is the work. This is what they've done. They've looked at their little limiting belief systems, they've honed in on their challenges, and they're able to face themselves for who they are and shed a light on all those little dark places inside our minds. Now, there's a whole bunch of research about where those dark places come from, why they exist, and how they pop up in our brains, and blah, 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 blah. I don't want to go into all of that with you now, because I only have a limited amount of your time and attention. But let me tell you, it's scientifically proven, and it's not because these people were exposed to some significant amount of trauma in their lives that were so, overwhelming. It happens to everybody. It's all of us. And I really want you to know that, because I think a lot of us, when we think about doing work on ourselves, we always think, well, I haven't been through a really difficult ordeal in my life. I haven't been through an extreme challenge. But it's just how the brain works. So just leave that part alone and work on it. You had something to say about that? No, you agreeing back there? You're just like, yep, it's true. It happens to you too.
It
You have
does.
negative self-talk, right? I've heard you say negative. Give me a negative self-talk.
Okay.
Give me one.
Mm,
A thought you want to get rid of that's lingering in your brain
Okay.
that comes up for you.
I'm not too good at school.
Perfect. So this is act therapy. We're gonna do it on her thought, I'm not too good at school. So I want you to say, I am thinking the thought,
I'm thinking the thought
I'm not too good at school.
I'm not too good at school.
Say-
I'm thinking the thought that I'm not too good at school. I am thinking the thought that I'm not too good at school.
So you're supposed to say it 3 times, just like she did. How do you feel?
I feel so better.
So now we're gonna that's taking one step back from the thought, and you're getting into the place where you're an observer of your mind. You get to be this observer, this infamous observer. So I want you to step back even further and become even more and step more into your place of that observer inside of you. And let's do it. Let's do that again. Let's go. I noticed that.
I noticed that I'm thinking the thought that I'm not too good at school. I noticed that I'm thinking the thought that I'm not too good at school. I noticed that I'm thinking the thought that I'm not too good at school.
How does that feel?
Even better.
Yeah, right?
Now I'm just looking at all the good grades I have.
Exactly. See, she's really fast about this, guys. She's got this down. And the thing about what you do when you do that, nobody put that thought in your brain. Nobody, like, that just came from you, this beautiful girl. I mean, I think I'm a good mom. I don't think I'm too hard on you. I didn't never told her she's not too good at school. It just comes, and what we have to do is know that these thoughts are going to exist, and it's not helpful. That thought does not help her even the littlest bit. So we got to find a way to navigate and move past that, and act therapy is just really, really great way. So thank you, Dr. Hayes. So now I want to move you into step 3, which is grow and thrive. So here we have the succeed part. How do we succeed in all of this? So first step was you. Second step was adapt. You adapt to succeed. So by succeed, I mean you want to grow and thrive, especially in this situation. One of them that we all have gotten probably 1,000 WhatsApp examples and links and I don't know what else, but we've got, you know, everybody telling us to put our kids on a schedule, put our lives on a schedule, have some structure, all of that. Absolutely do it, and stay connected with your loved ones or friends, you know, do meetups online, do your exercise, find a way. I mean, they have so many YouTube videos and yoga videos, and my gym went online free for the world. My wonderful gym is doing workout classes for everybody. And I mean, there's lots of content. There's so much content that you really just don't have to pay for, so that you can continue to create a version of your lifestyle that fits in with this new reality that keeps us all safe.
Like the mice that are lost with their cheese. They have to build a new lifestyle and figure out, oh, I have to go look for the cheese because it's somewhere else. I just gotta
Yes.
go find it.
I gotta go find it. So I'm gonna find my cheese. My cheese is, I wanna look good, I wanna work out, I wanna feel good, I wanna be exercised, I want my immune system to be strong. And this is another thing, guys. Okay, we're gonna have a tendency to drink a lot of alcohol. We're stressed, we're gonna want an extra glass of wine, an extra whatever. Look, I'm enjoying that too. But it's really not good for your immune system. And I really want you to be conscious of that your immune system, you really want it to be as strong as possible right now. And over 2 glasses of an alcoholic beverage in an evening is starting to weigh on your immune system. And then if you do that on a regular basis, fine, one night out of all of this, let some stress out, have 2-3 drinks. It's your home, you're safe, it's fine. But I'm telling you, like, let's find other ways to release that stress and to do something positive, and that's what I'm trying to help you with here. And really, life does become quite beautiful. And I have to tell you that, like, I almost didn't even see the little things until I did this. And my husband, I want to quote him because he's got like the best quote of all time. He says, I find things funny now that used to piss me off. So, oh, there he is, just on cue, walking in. So that's kind of what, you know, what ends up happening when you do this work on a regular basis. And this is where you really have to be, you know, the process has to be built into your life, so you're doing this on such a regular basis. So in order to grow and thrive and succeed, we do have to do a couple other little things. So you have to change your definition of success. One of the key things I did in my life was be able to change what I defined as success. What was success for me? Success for me used to look like, you know,
being a better cook, raising me and my two sisters better.
Well, no, that's my new definition of success. My old definition of success was all about having all the money in the world, having the best, biggest title on my resume, and being, you know, the utmost authority in whatever it was I decided to do. And it was a completely twisted version of reality. And I really do hope that this all allows us to reflect on what really matters and what really success should look like. Should success really at some level, you get to define that within you, to go in with yourself and say what really satisfies me as an individual, what really brings me that level of joy and that lights me up and just gives me leaves me feeling fulfilled in my everyday life. And that's what you get to reflect on all of this. So that's thriving, that's succeeding, that's really getting yourself to that next level and not allowing a difficult situation to bring you down, but instead to bring you up. So I do have 1,000 more exercises that I can walk you guys through and show you. There was a second part to the ACT therapy called the fact and fiction that is also going to help you as you go through this, and it's really just separating these stories we put in our minds into two categories, two columns, if you will, one column being fact, one column being fiction. And I really, you know, if you have this kind of like chain of thoughts around an issue that's bothering you, sit and write down what of those situations are fiction, what of that situation is fact, and how, you know that when you look at that fiction column, you're going to be able to erase all of that because it's not true and there's nothing you can do about it. But fact are things that live in the present, things that you can actually act on today and do something about. And fact is defined as something that is real and it has evidence. So those are the areas that it'll save you a whole lot of time if you go into that fact and fiction. I think we have about a quick minute to do a quick fact and fiction example. You want to pick a situation?
Okay,
You're really good at that.
yeah, I really am. Okay, how about the Earth is basically shutting down?
Oh yeah, that's a
Like,
big
I
one.
feel like the world, like a whole different universe, is just putting a jail cell on top of Earth. That's why I feel like we're just all trapped inside. Can't
Yeah.
go anywhere.
That's pretty heavy for a 9-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's break that situation down. So the headline is that the universe is trapping us. And the facts, let's list the fiction there. Let's start with fiction. Fiction is, did the world stop, actually?
No.
But you would have written down on your paper, if you had a paper, you would have written down that the world has stopped.
Yeah, but I would have put that on the fiction, because the water's still running, we still have electricity.
Yeah.
So the world isn't completely like dead.
So this is something that's going on in your mind that's causing a lot of weight and stress for you. And I do recommend you guys, you write this down. I'm just trying to go through this quickly to keep this session within 30 to 35 minutes. So, but I want to kind of just give you an example. So we're going to move over. Now let's have a fact to that, a counterfact. So what is a fact about the world shutting down that you're looking at?
Okay, I'm looking at, like grocery stores, vacations. Like, no one can fly a plane.
Yeah. So
The
there are
closest
some
thing that
things.
we can actually do that is a paper airplane, and we can't use those to get all the way to Mexico.
No, we can't. So we have the fact that a lot of stuff that used to move and happen is not happening anymore. So then why don't we look at that a different way? Is that something you can control?
No, we cannot control
No.
that.
So for any fact that you can't control, the one thing you can't control is you. So we come back again to step one. What can you do about this situation?
Well, what I can do is just stay positive. Like, the world is shutting down, but it is also getting better. Because, like, every day we're learning something new about this thing.
And so you see that there's progress being made, and you feel promise for the future.
Yeah, I'm still feeling pulse. I still have electricity and water, so I'm gonna live.
Yeah, and that's pretty important. That's very important to me. Yes. Okay, so guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope it's been helpful in some way. I am looking forward to just getting through this with our best foot forward. And if you have any questions or you want to see anything else, any more, and me to elaborate on any one of these sections, I might create more modules. I just want to see how much interest there is. So I'm really glad to be able to connect with you guys this way, and to all my friends that are watching and family, love you guys a lot, and please keep safe. Oh, you want to say goodbye?
Bye.
Okay, bye.